Hello everyone, we are live on tonight's uh, Friday night live stream. We're a bit late, but we're here. Um, so how is everyone doing? Uh, I hope everyone is well these days. Jake, evening mate, how are you? How's everyone keeping? Um, I did a bit of fine tuning with the live stream this week now, so hopefully Military Collectibles evening. So hopefully there's no lag. There shouldn't be a lag. The sound should be better. And other than that, we should be okay. So the minute you put in a message, I should see it. So fingers crossed. We'll wait and see how things go. But how's everyone? How's your Friday evening? Hello, Stan. How are you? Nick, how are you doing? How's everyone's Friday? Start of the weekend? Yippee! We're there. Let's take off my watch. It is absolutely roasting here in the west coast of Ireland today. I am drinking tea as well, which doesn't help, I suppose, with the heat side of it. But yeah, so we've had a good week in relation to military collecting. Kenny, how are you doing? Stan, you're going to like this. We have some NVA East German stuff coming in. We also have some World War II stuff coming in. Both British and American. We have an original M1 helmet, which will be coming in. Some I have bought. Some people have kindly donated them to the channel and the collection. So if you were one of the people that got in contact with me in relation to donating something, thank you very much. And some things that I have swapped and traded with other guys that collect up banner and stuff like that. So they were looking for bits and bobs that I had that I don't use anymore or that I have seconds of, and everything is good. So how is everyone anyway? My tea is still a bit hot. I can feel it through the run. I need to get it cooled down. Anyone at Military Osprey over the weekend? There was one or two guys, I think, there at the weekend that are subscribers, so I doubt they'll be in tonight. I do have a question, though, about something. Military Collectibles and Jake might be able to answer me this. All right. Is that World War II or post World War II? Somebody told me it is pre-World War II because there's no bottle opener. It's just a can opener. There's no bottle opener. It is quite small as well for what it is. No, it is original. And I can't find a date on it anywhere. So I'm not sure. Somebody told me it is early Second World War or prior Second World War because there's no bottle opener there. So I don't know. I can't find the date on it. Normally the date should be here on the blade, but I can't find it at all. So Jake and Military Collectibles, you might have more information about that. Now it is quite bloody sharp. Somebody did actually carry this as a pocket knife throughout his life. Where have we gone? I have 1943 dated knife like that. Yeah, where's the date on your one? Because I can't find the date on this one. Howdy, boss. Sorry for not sending an email sooner, but it is sent now. No problem, Patrick. No hassle at all. J. Kerner. Generally World War II, but manufacturers varied. Rifleman Moore has a good video on class knives. Sheep's foot blade. Oh, sheep's foot blade. Oh, okay. Yeah, it could have been anything. I'd say it's definitely been used to pair a few hooves and possibly cut bales and stuff. My date on blade, I think it I'll have a look. Yeah, it's definitely not on my one. No, it's well oiled and stuff, but there's no date there. And there's no date there. See, so no date, no date. So I don't know. No, it's the same pattern and everything as the Second World War, post-war. I don't actually know when they came into date. When they came into issue. Were they around for the First World War? I'm not sure. I don't believe so. I'll be putting the blue spray on after anyway. Yeah, exactly. Or the silver spray, the aluminium spray. Dutchy, how are you? I have one. It is 39 dated. Maker's mark anywhere? No, there's no maker's mark. There's no nothing on the blue thing. It's been well used. I'll just check. There's definitely nothing on the blade anyway. And on the can opener, no. There possibly was at one point in time, but it's not there now. And it hasn't been foiled or sanded or anything like that to take the mark off it. So I don't know. I do not know. But it's a nice little... It is of the correct pattern and everything, so... And you know, when something that's been well used and maintained and been in and out of somebody's pocket 101 times, you have that oily, metally smell off it. That's exactly what it smells like. The 1905 clasp knife was used during the Great War. It's much larger than the World War II ones. Well, that's, I suppose, 3 inches, 4 inches, give or take. Mine marked on tin opener, 1941. No. New, new, and new. Oh wait. Mine's dated on the base of the tin opener, yeah. Crow's foot mark. No, and no crow's foot, no nothing. I'd say it's it's literally just been used so much that I've even got a light that I can shine on it that might show off some hidden things. No. So when you're looking at something so much as well, trying to find something that you after a while you start imagining it and going, is that it? Is that it? Is that it? No, you don't find anything. Mine's dated on the base of tin opener. Check there, any close foot. No, mine is on the shank metal blade housing at the top. Oh, you mean this bit here? No, there's nothing on them neither. It's just a mystery, an absolute mystery. Ripley's, believe it or not. But it's an unusual one because I don't believe that you see him like. There's definitely I've never seen a reproduction of one of those. But it's too. It's not a reproduction because hang on. Oh, hang on. Is it on the inside of the spike? Is that a maker's mark? I think I found an arrow. A crow's or an crow's foot or an arrowhead or whatever you want to call it. I think there might be one in there. I don't know if we can make it out. There's a remnant of some type of a marking in there. Yours does not have a marlin spike. The marlin spike, correct me if I'm wrong, But that spike is for dealing with ropes and stuff, if I remember. It's not an actual weapon or anything like that, but it's for dealing with trying to untie ropes and stuff for that have gotten tight. Yeah, so I was just looking around during the week and I found it, and I thought I would ask your advice on what it is. Yes, for rope, yeah. So that's that done. What I was also doing was I was doing a bit of research on my spike bayonet. You can see the markings there on it. And from what I found out, it's Canadian. It's Canadian manufacturer. Very crude and rudimentary way of using something. But now there is a tiny little hook there on the spike that I must straighten out. But yeah, so I was doing some research on that as well. So it is a Canadian manufacturer, and it's 1943, I believe, from the markings that I can make out on it. So yeah, but it is a number 4 Mark II spike, or Mark II, and then it's got a symbol which is a B and an L that are overstamped on each other, which, if I remember correctly, was Boyd's of something or other, but they're based out of Canada. And yeah, so that's what that was. World War II issue generally had date will be on the blade or on the spike. The bottle opener, but dispense of the container and steel blaster end is the sign of an early World War II. Later lads would have been dropped. Okay. Would you be willing to do a video on how to put on putties and how to blouse your trousers? Blouse your trousers as in with, say, like up banner type area with the short putties, or First World War with the long putties, because I have both. So it would depend on what one you would do. Jake, if I remember correctly, has a video on how to put on the long putties. Or he converted three sets of short putties into long putties. Steel helmet stand got me looking at my spike bayonet now. Yeah, he converted 3 sets of small short putties, 80s, 70s, 80s putties into First World War putties. Now the putties were worn. Putties are actually Indian. The word putty or putty is Indian. Or Indian, yeah, it means bandage, and it was basically there to design to protect their legs from ticks, water, debris, stuff going down their feet or into their boots and socks. What happened later on now the putties were used during the First World War. They right up until 1932, I believe, when the service dress changed. And then they went to battle. Don't quote me on these dates now because I'm just going roughly off the top of my head. Then they went to battle dress serge, which was worn right all the way. There was different patterns, but it's like anything else. You have what you have until it's worn out, and what they have in store. So you do see battle dress serge being used right up until after the war in 45, 46. Then you see a different pattern coming in, which is pretty much the same as the 44 pattern, being used right through until Korea. Then at the start of Korea, things went mental altogether for them, and they decided some of the units, when they first went to Korea, ended up borrowing stuff off the Americans because they found their kit way better. And then in the 50s, after Korea, kit developed and changed in the whole way right up until today, present day. So you can actually see it. You can, if you study history, if you study uniforms or anything like that, in between wars, there's like a plateau of kit development changing of weapons and stuff like that. Then when there's a war on, or when they're deployed, you'll see a sharp curve of them trying to get equipment and stuff like that and update stuff that they had that obviously isn't working anymore. Then you'll see a plateau again. So like you see that in Korea, and then there's massive plateau. Then the Malaysian emergency, there was a slight little increase, then plateaued again, then all the way up into Aden and Oman, then plateaued. And it nearly, once at Aden and Oman, it plateaued the whole way nearly until you see Op Banner stuff. And then you can, if you study Op Banner or Northern Ireland Troubles, whatever the hell you want to call it, and you look how quick the kit, especially for Northern Ireland, started to develop, going from regular Mark IV to regular Mark IV helmets, which is this one, going to Mark IV Public Order, going to which they would have had one as well called the Northern Ireland Security Service helmet, that is very, very rare. I don't have one. Then they went to the Cromwell. Then you see the Paras even doctoring their own type helmets to make public order helmets, all the way over to the Mark VI. So within 30 years, you've that much evolution, which is fairly, very quick. You see that as well during the Gulf War. Like they went in Gulf War stuff. We're not the first Gulf War. We'll say the invasion of Iraq, not the first Gulf War, but the invasion of Iraq. Lads went over in DPM, just regular body armor type things, which had been around since the late 80s, early 90s. And then you see a massive, like Osprey, the Osprey body armor. Now, what's the new one? The Veritas or something called. Huge, literally running upstairs trying to catch up with technology. Op Banner planning myself to try and blaze lightweight trousers with Northern Ireland patrol boats. Attempted it with a rubber band. So I'll do a video on it and I'll show it to you, because there is different ways of doing it. The Irish Army did it. British Army. Now I know guys that showed me how they used to do it. Some guys would do the putty, and then they would put a rubber band. Look, I'll show you how to do it. I'll show you different ways of doing it. It's easier to show you on a video than try and explain it to you. So if you want me to do that, I will do that. I do have a helmet that I didn't do it on video because it was only a spray job. Wherever it is gone. I thought I put it in here. Maybe I didn't. But I sprayed my my old Orlite Israeli helmet that I had. Where the hell did I put it? Because I'm going to do the Op Banner stuff. People, for some reason, seems to be hugely interested in it, and I keep getting multiple questions on it, which is thankfully, guys. I mean, if you want to ask me questions, be more than welcome. I'll be more than welcome to try and answer them myself. Or try and answer them for you, but they're mad for me to. They want to see an Irish equivalent of what the guys in the north looked at. So, I will do that. I will do that because I have a bit of inside information on that, shall we say? My spike bayonet is a number 4 Mark II. Maker's Mark PSK L196, no date. There is a website that I found. It's called the Love of the Spike or something, or the Pig Stick, and then there's another one called Pig Stickers Fan Club or something it's called. Because I don't know why they got the nickname known as Pig Stickers, but they did, apparently. They actually have a complete database on every type of mark known to mankind that you will find on these yokes, and you can. They have built to be able to tell you what the rare one is, what the non-rare one is, and apparently the scabbards, this bit, have markings, and the scabbards can be just as collectible as the bayonet, which is even more interesting. Hello, how are you all doing? David, how are you? Some of the lads were asking there, were you at the show at the weekend, or are you at the show for the weekend? Some guys were asking who was around and stuff like that. if you want to have a meet up, if you're at the show, but I doubt some of you are at the show there. Unless you've got caravans or campers or something with you. I doubt you're in a trench or something looking at me on the computer. So, has anyone any questions actually to ask me, guys? Or would you like to know information or would you like me to talk to you about something rather than just waffling bullshit tea all night? I don't mind. That's actually, there it is. I had it somewhere. Yeah. So there's my old Israeli helmet. This one is dated 85. So I will be showing you how we used to put the covers on them. I was issued a cover, which is pretty much the same as the British one, but the lads before me used to make up their own ways of doing it. So I will show you how to do that. Now, they are very comfortable helmets and they fit well. This one is completely sized to me because it was mine. So yeah, so we'll just sit here now for a while and watch it. What size anklets you need? I can likely get a pair. Oh, okay, hang on, I get out the measuring tape. I'd probably need about the 11-inch or the 12-inch ones. So that would be size 2 or size 3. I can't remember. If you have a measuring tape, measure them out. If they're a foot long, they'll do me. Thanks, David. I'll email. I messaged you today actually, so I'll message you again. Any new additions to the collection? New additions to the collection. I have done a trade with a friend of mine in the north. We hope to be getting some East German stuff. Buggers, the East German stuff now starts to be collecting or creeping up. So there's some East German stuff in that. There's, I believe, a Vietnam stuff in it. What else? I have another friend of mine up the north that I've been dealing with as well. So there's some World War II stuff in that. I have been looking and digging out my Israeli beret collection. Beret, keep your minds clean, guys. So I will be looking for that. I need to open this chin strap. Gotten a bigger chin, but so yeah. So I'll be looking at. So they'll be coming out, and I need to read up on them again because I have 19 or 20 of them or something, and I just need to remember what's what. Looks like a superb lid. Yeah, they're grand. They're fine lids, but the problem was with these was when you had headphones in, when you had earphones in, there's a rubber piece there and there's a rubber piece at that side. So when you had the pelters on, I don't have any with me at the minute, but when you had the pelters on, the ear defenders, these yokes would dig into the side of your head and they would give you the mother and father of all headaches after a while. Where have we gone? Yes, I is Red Army Captain. Oh, so if any of you are at the big event at the weekend, David is there. That's the group he's with. If you want to call and say hello to him. Looking good, John. I better put it on again. So he's understood. That's fine. Thank you very much, David. Got myself an East German. Oh, you got yourself a jacket the other day. Very good. I'm just looking for a green cover for the one I have. Yeah, so they literally had 98, 99 was when I first started seeing them, was you could get a cover that looked, it was the exact same as the British DPN or cover. It was the exact same cover as that, except it was in olive drab, it was green. It wasn't camouflaged. That's exactly it. They're hard enough to find, but that's what the covers was for these. Before that was it, lads would get a car tube. Look, I'm not going to divulge my secrets. You'll have to tune in and watch the videos of what's coming up. Looking for a green cover, D56 on the pig sticker and a broad arrow. So yeah, so look up that website that I said. and they have all the manufacturing marks. They have all the little bits and bobs. Pig Stickers collect Pig Stickers forum or something. Just look up, type in Mark IV bayonets rank or manufacturer marks, and you'll be surprised what comes up. Hoping to get down there one day. Oh, that military show. I plan on, lads. I've had fantastic interest in guys wanting to go over, especially to the UK for shows next year. So I hope to try and make some of them. Price, Smith and Steels of Yorkshire made the PSK mark spike bayonet. Yeah, they're the spike bayonets. Sorry, my throat's gone very dry. The spike bayonets, they were manufactured everywhere. Lads were making them in sheds and everything. It became nearly a cottage industry during the war to make spike bayonets, and even Sterlings, or not Sterlings, Sten guns, nearly became a cottage industry, where guys were literally given parts by the MOD, and it could be just a simple thing as putting a spring into this and screwing up, and then, like that, they'd be there in the evenings, put spring in, screw down part or whatever, and then they'd fill another box of the completed components. Then those completed components went off somewhere else, and they got paid so much for so many springs put into so many things, and that was how they got paid. One of mine is Savage made, which is cool. One of mine is Savage made, which is cool. Can't remember the markings on my number 7 bayonet. Factory made stains. Yeah, so lots of things became cottage industries. And what it was, they like literally had a little mini production line. Ireland still did it up until the 80s for certain things. So what you would do is, let's say, just as a simple fact, I'll show you. So you would get this part in one box, and you would get this part in another box, and they would give these out to people, and they would sit at home at night going, put the spring in here. That was one complete unit. Then they'd get another spring and another piece and put it in, and put it into another box. Then guys would come along and collect those boxes and bring them somewhere else. And then the next part could be this going in here and then being screwed on, and like that. So it was literally a cottage industry production line, is what it was, which is very interesting as well. If you look into that type of stuff, the home front history of World War II is very interesting. I find it very interesting. I don't know about the rest of you, but I find it interesting. Now, that's enough waffling. So, anyone else got any questions? No. I'll have a cup of tea then. Stan, you think you're great in your drinking tunic. Well, how about drinking tea helmet? And it is tea, actually, guys, sorry. It's not DDRT or anything like that. It is actually tea. Although a strong beverage would be nice around now, but sure, we'll wait till later. So, no. Oh yeah, so then this was what we wore. But a lot of us in the infantry would private purchase Mark 6s. This is my one. And we would change the we would change the chin strap. Shots fired, lads. We would change the chin strap on them. As you can see, this was my one. So that chin strap is just a well-used one. It needs a bit of dubbing, actually, so it is a bit hard, but it is the exact same as that one. So with the covers on them, you could barely tell the difference. Now, this did have the elastics on it, but the elastics died on it when I was still in service. So I just cut them off, and what I had was I had an M1 net over this, that if I needed to scrim it on, I could just use that rather than the actual strings. So yeah, so this is known as a helmet band, and it's got aluminous bits at the back, so when you're doing a patrol you can be seen, and this one actually has a bit of trench art, or whatever you want to call it, graffiti on the back of it. So that was my helmet, and it is a Mark 6. Private purchase, Mark 6. So yeah, so that's that one done. Top drinking helmet, shots fired. I need a drinking fez. Is that the Irish DPM cover that was designed in Belgium? It wasn't designed in Belgium, actually. I'll tell you. The Irish camouflage is known as paddy flash, that which is this color, which is this camouflage. Right. Camouflage was designed in Ireland through a bit of trial and error from the Irish Army Research Department, we'll call them. They designed it with a Belgian company, but they did not design. It was not solely designed in Belgium. It was designed with a Belgian company. Then the Belgian company mass produced the material, and then the material was sent to the subcontractors to make the actual uniforms. So it wasn't designed by the Belgians. It was designed jointly by a Belgian company and by the Irish. I hope that answers your question, Jim. I forgot actually how easy this is to wear. SSP 1944 on my scabbard. Sorry, still going on about the pig sticker. Haha, Mr. Timber appears. Yeah. Look up that site stand. They have absolutely ridiculous information and stuff that you would never think of. But yeah, they're look up Mark IV information, and you'll be surprised what you find. Sorry, but yeah. Hey, Stan, mate. So Jim is in the building. Whoop whoop. Yeah. So sorry. So for these, what you would do is you get nets like this or scrim, and you get a car tube tire. And you literally drape it over it, and when you put the car tube tire around the edge of it, it would stretch it out, and it would give you a cover, and then you would literally just cut the edges off the net, and then you had something to stick your vegetation into, or your scrim, or whatever you wanted to do. Now this net has been well and truly sun bleached, so I might use this actually. We'll see, because it's actually so frail now; it's starting to rip itself. So yeah. So how many people are actually at the show for the weekend? I know David is there. Is there anyone else there? You can meet up maybe and have a fan club get together. That sounds so strange, so weird. I actually had a guy email me the other day and gone, "I'm a big fan of yours." And I go, "I don't have fans. Why would I have fans? I only have fans during the summer when it's very warm, and it's normally on in my car." And you can see how warm it is here. I'm actually sweating from just wearing that helmet sitting here. So just imagine what it's like running around the bloody place all the time. Hoping to get down one day to the military show. So I think, Dave, are you the only one that's there this weekend? I don't know. I haven't seen Andrew. Andrew could be there. I haven't seen Andrew pop in. If Andrew doesn't pop in, the chances are he's either on his way or he's there. So yeah. Who's sorry. We could all discuss our favorite videos, pints in hand. Favorite videos from YouTube in general, or just my favorite videos, or favorite videos of mine? Actually, yeah, that's a very good point. Who? Because I am as I said before, I'm a subscriber-based channel. So what's your input is what I do. What is your favorite video that I have up on my channel? Well, we'll see what what these are. They'll probably be like, John, they're all shite. Stop talking crap. But yeah, so we'll see. We'll see now who's got who likes what. That's absolutely. I'm dying. It is that bloody hot in here. But I must refill my oil bottle, because when you have a collection, you actually have to do maintenance on your collection, such as dubbing, dusting, making sure there's no moths around, to even oiling, battens, leather as well as another thing needs to be looked after, especially leather, boots, DX and Denexes and stuff need to be oiled. There's a lot of bloody maintenance in these collections. SPS Scabbard is one of 670,000 made in Sheffield steel products. I liked the Bundeswehr one. Helped me with getting mine together. The mannequin one, or just I enjoyed the Australian SAS video. I still have an awful lot of Australian Vietnam stuff that I haven't covered yet, but I possibly will get around to at some point in time. But an awful lot of emails and an awful lot of queries I was getting was about Op Banner stuff. So I said for the next few videos I will cover Op Banner stuff. There's another one this weekend. There's 2 videos this weekend actually, hopefully. There's this live stream and there is a video that will be up on Sunday about a mannequin. And if I get time, tomorrow I'll shoot another one and edit it and load it up for some time over the weekend as well. The mannequin ones, so Op Banner, especially the batten vids. Yeah, well, I actually did a video there not so long ago explaining the difference between, if any of you remember what one that one is. And it nearly hit me in the head with it. What one that one is. So one of them is a Mark 1 and one is a Mark 2. Can any of you tell me which is which? I did actually whack myself in the head with it. I like the British Soldier 1984. I thought really finally someone has provided a guide. There will be more of those type ones coming up as well. I like the Public Order batten one. There you go. So which one is the Mark 1 and which one is the Mark 2? That's so that look, yeah, don't know. No, suit you, sir. NAM webbing video, do it for me. There is actually, I will start doing some NAM stuff because I do have some. I have a buddy of mine in Australia, Jack, and I don't know if you're watching this now. He probably won't be watching this tonight. He'll probably be watching it eventually over the weekend. He fantastically finds NAM stuff for me in Australia, because here in Ireland, obviously, Australian Vietnam stuff is going to be. Was I right? Which one were you right with? Mark 1 is the round end. Yeah, you are. That's the Mark 2. It's got a flat nose like that. That's the Mark 2. Mark 1 is actually considerably heavier as well than this one. And there's the back of it is more of a ball than that one. This one would have had the same strap, but obviously this got broke off at some point in time and they've just jerry-rigged a piece of felt on it. Now people think, I've showed this on a video, but I'll just show you. People think that you put your hand through this and then you do it like that. You don't, because if someone pulls that batten, your hand, you can't get your hand out, and they're going to drag you across the floor, and you'll probably break your arm. So what you do is you put your thumb in it, you wrap it around your hand. Sorry, it goes this way. You wrap it around your hand. So your thumb in it, wrap it around like that. So you still have some control of it. If it needs to come off your hand. But if you do need to let it go, it can slide off and not break your wrist, your arm, or anything like that. Yes, you were right, Stan. You were right. I picked up number 10 time pencil fuse on M4 booby trap switch. Dutchy, very nice. Some of my webbing and kit is on TV tonight. Oh, 10 past 11, film 4, Dog Soldiers. I seen that film. That's the one about the vampires type thing, isn't it? Sold it all to a military affair to a researcher looking for the stuff for werewolf soldier horror movie. Yeah, I must look up that actually. I seen that film years ago. Cheaper mid one is a Mark II. Yeah, it literally it is cheaper. Nick, yeah, great film. It is a good film. I love Dog Soldier, so silly but great. No, yeah, it was a good film. Yeah, like there are that type of film though, the military stuff doesn't bother me if you get me. Like, cause you know it's going to be. Like it's not a war movie. It's when it's a war movie, and they don't put the research into it being a war movie, and everything is wrong. The guy's weapon handling is crap. The never changing a magazine to uniform to like that's when like I mean if you're going to make a war movie, do the research and make a war movie. Making a horror movie, you're making a horror movie. So yeah, so there we go. I love Dog Soldiers. So yeah, sorry, so we're there. We're caught up. I must drink more tea. Jesus, it's 9:15 already. Time flies when you're having fun, guys. The Outpost was another one. Multinational mercenaries versus zombies. Gas crack. Exactly. I mean, that's exactly. There was one guy in it, actually, if I can remember correctly, in that Outpost one. He was badged as a para. He wore para gear, but he had an IRA tattoo, which is strange, first of all, because they were paras and the IRA were famous for not getting along. So, yeah. I'd like to know the backstory behind that one. Military Collectibles, that's awesome. I love that movie. What claim to fame. Have you ever seen Incident 597? No, I haven't actually. What's that about, Kenny? Is that I'm actually giving myself a lump on the head from when that thing hit me. Picked up some NBC suits mid-80s and still in plastic sealed. May have some spares. I actually have some of Bernick. I have some in the plastic, and I have some out of plastic. I haven't done a video on them. I do have Mark 6 gas masks as well. I need to try and find a better way. Did any of you see Rifleman Moore's I won't say tour of the collection, but how he had his tour stored, or how he had his tour, a tour of how his collection was stored. I need to get more of those Tupperware boxes and label them and have like 1980s patterns and stuff like that. It was about an IRA ambush on SAS. His tattoo, I can't remember. Can't remember what it was. But even to have an IRA tattoo and be a para. Interesting one. Oh yeah, so did any of you see the video on my Ulster Defence Regiment dress uniform? I hope to have a female mannequin in the next week or two that I can cover the greenfinches and stuff like that. I did have it for the RUC female. The problem I'm having with that video is done and ready to go. The problem I'm having with that video is for some bloody reason I used a tiny little clip. It's less than 30 seconds, which is under the guidelines of YouTube. But every time I try to upload it, or every time it's scheduled to be uploaded or to be premiered, I get pinged on it because of that little segment. So I'm either going to take it out of it or I'm going to see if I can mute it or something. I have a DPM-1 Mark 5 NBC jacket. Do I have a At one stage, everybody had DPM jacket, or not DPM jackets, NBC jackets, and they were wearing them as a fashion accessory. So yeah, so I don't know. That's the lad in that Irish Victorian one, David Still, Michael. I know he's an Irish actor. He's actually from the north, but I can't remember anything else. Weapon handling in film should be correct to the era. It Yeah, it would save some harsh language. Like shouldering, like you see guys like that, and they're like that's not shouldering. That's like they're here and they're aiming that way. Like if you're gonna, it's literally another 6 inches if you're going to shoulder it properly. Don't have your bloody finger on the trigger unless you're going to use it. Um, Actually, did any of you see that meme? There's a meme going around about this whole madness that's going on in a country far, far away. Uh, so, um, so far, far away. Actually, Irish lads went over there during the week and are home already after bringing out all our citizens. There for you. Nothing said about it. Tiny little caption in the post about that much, or in the newspaper. But I've gone mental now. Whatever you want to say, whatever. Yeah, but the meme, like you knew there's two guys in the background, guys with stuff on their heads sitting at a desk. Two guys in the background, massive finger discipline, Western trained, or somebody trained them anyway. John, I should get you in touch with a few friends of mine who do RMP mid 70s and 80s. Yeah, that'd be perfect, Jake, if you could. I do actually have the cover for this is here. I need to put it on. I do actually have RMP stuff from the 70s and 80s. Am I gonna right? I was wearing a helmet for a while. I'll wear this now for a while I'm drinking my tea. I meant incident 597 was a document drama about the ambush of the SAS by the IRA based on a true story. There's a YouTube channel called Ulster's History or something. Yeah, I think it's called Ulster's History. They have. Where did that yawn come out of? I don't know. But they have fantastic documentaries from all sides, not just IRA, but they have UVF, they have UDA, they have Catholic, Protestant, RUC documentaries, UDR documentaries. So yeah, they're a very good resource to get information off and watch videos on. So yeah, this is actually a lot lighter than wearing the helmet while you're drinking tea, although I am still bloody sweating again. And I don't really want to mark this too much because it is a mint condition hat. Okay. My phone keeps going. Phone keeps going off as well at the same time. No, oh yeah, I wanted to show you this. This actually is marked there on the inside. It has been issued to somebody. Somebody asked me a question as well on my UDR video. The video in relation to the UDR, he asked me a question: were the UDR an anti-terrorist regiment? Not necessarily. They weren't used specifically for anti-terrorists. They were more used for their. They were used more for their local knowledge because they were all recruited locally, and they were not allowed to be used, or they were not used in public order. That was given to the regular army lads that were there. The UDR lads were mainly for patrolling, along with the RUC, checkpoints, things like that, barrack security, stuff like that. And they were, at one point in time, the largest infantry regiment in the entire British Army. There was 11 battalions in it. Yeah, it eventually ended up with 11 battalions. And it did take full-time members or full-time staff cadre from 1976. And I can't remember when they started taking greenfinches, but they were the first integrated infantry regiment as well in the British Army. So they have a few little interesting bits of history about them. They were the largest British Army infantry regiment. They were the first infantry regiment to integrate females or have females in an infantry regiment. They were the longest continuous regiment serving in a combat zone of the British Army. They served entirely 22 years in Northern Ireland. And what other interesting information and history was there about them? They do have a bit of a checkered history. I'm not going to deny that. There has been documented cases of them being involved in subversive activities. So we'll just say it that way to be politically nice about it. They were documented as in having been killing and been involved in the actual paramilitary side of it as well. Not all of them, some of them, but not all. I won't say the vast majority of them neither, because it wasn't the vast majority of them. I do have some friends and colleagues and people that I collect, and they ask me for information. I ask them for information. They're ex-UDR. Nice guys, sound guys, no problem. They weren't all bad. Same as the Paras. Paras weren't all bad. Some of them were, some of them weren't. But I'm not getting involved in politics. Forgive and forget. Longest way up, shortest way down. Oh, I have to salute. Sorry, that's me. Oh yeah, no problem, Jack. The most dangerous unit in the British Army, even home, was unsafe. Only in a base where they're safe. Yeah, exactly. They were armed mostly all the time. They were issued, believe it or not, Stan, you're going to like this one. They were issued as a public defense weapon, or a public defense weapon, personal security weapon. They were issued Walther PPKs. They had Walther in Germany, Mr. Walther. They had him in Germany make them in 2.2 version, which, if you ask me, might as well have been throwing peanuts, because when you consider that the other lads at the other side were notorious for carrying 1911s or Webleys or anything that they could get their bloody hands on, so a Walther PPK wouldn't have exactly made much of a difference when you're facing down a 45 ACP and you're trying to shoot somebody with a 2.2. It's like bringing it. That would be the definition of bringing a knife to a gunfight. But yes, they were issued Walther PPKs as personal weapons. Great way of getting out of speeding tickets if you had friends in it. Yeah. I know guys as well. I've had guys get in contact with me, and I am friends with guys that are former RUC, and it's the same with them. Not all of those guys were bad. Some of them, unfortunately, did get involved and did get tangled up in the paramilitary side of it, but not all of them. The vast majority of those guys just want to get on and do with their jobs as well. And their strings have been pulled by somebody else. Would be interesting to find a deactivated PPK in 22. A lot when the UDR was disbanded, or they started getting rid of the private issue of them, they were made public. They were publicly bought, and the UDR guys, a lot of them bought their own weapons, but some of them were sold to the US as target pistols. So you can find them in the US if you find one in the US. What's his name? Historical Firearms or something. He actually has a video on the Northern Ireland Walther PPK in 22. There is a lot of them in America. Second-hand pistol market. Yeah, they are. That's where they ended up. They were sold privately as target pistols. I don't know what the rules are. I presume you could buy one in the US, get it deactivated, and get it sent back or sent to somebody in the UK and have it deactivated. I'm not actually sure. I don't know if the likes of some of the deact dealers in the UK would be able to source one and have it deactivated for you. I don't know. I genuinely don't know how that would work and how you would get it deactivated. But it can be. You can get them. I have seen them. I've actually seen live ones. there's specific markings on them that tell you that they're Northern Ireland water PPKs, which is, and I just find it crazy. Now YouTube don't have a bloody canary. Like when you have, this is a 1911, it's an airsoft 1911, but it's the closest copy that I can get of a 1911. It's got all the trademarks and all on the side of it, and it has been weathered and stuff, and it is steel. It is quite heavy, but yeah. So when you consider this was known to be carried by paramilitaries for assassinating people. 45 ACP, big bloody round. Chances are one of them is going to hit you and that's it, you're done. And you're shooting at somebody with a 2.2 PB gun and this is coming the other direction. Yeah, like I would have preferred to have that carried as a personal weapon, but whatever. That sounds like money. It does sound like money, but there's so many of them actually that probably would be cheap enough to get one of them. David, YouTube has videos on them. They do have videos on them. Would have to be imported by a firearms dealer, then deactivated UK spec. Oh, so that's how you do it. What's your next pickup for World War II kitchen? Hopefully, fingers crossed, will be my uniform, because that's about all I'm missing now at the minute. I'm happy with a. Sorry, 1 second. I'm happy with my webbing. David, who's there, got me the longer suspenders and the bigger belt because I'm a fat. No, I'm not. I'm just average size guy. But he got me them. Hopefully, after this weekend, he'll get me my gaiters. I do have a pair of boots, but they're reproductions. But I got them. I've ordered them off of Epic. Ammo boots. I'm happy enough with what's in my haversack. There's one or two little bits and pieces I need to get for it, such as toothpaste and things like that. Then I'll be getting pocket fillers. But the next item is going to be my uniform. Now I plan on getting one off of SOF. I plan on saving up and going to Panther Store, or Top Price Glory Central Europe, or whatever you want to call it, and eventually getting one there. But SOF at the minute will have to do me. So yeah. Hope that answers your question, Jake. 2.2 PPK has alloy frame instead of standard steel. The military in the UK had one sold for 320 or 395. That's very nice. That's not a bad deal. The blowback would not cycle in steel, too heavy on 2.2. Yeah, exactly, it wouldn't work. Military collectibles, good info. I often look at our site, but a lot of the DX seem to come on and sell immediately. Lauren Shannon, what would you get for someone's birthday next week? Military stuff, anything. I'll do out a list. You splashed out on the lemmings, John. How do you mean on the lemmings? I splashed out on what lemmings? That gun. This gun. It's a DX. It's not it's an airsoft. It's not even a gun. CO2. You watch the mail, my friend. Oh yeah, perfect. Thanks, Dev. Yeah. So I don't understand, Jack, what you mean by lemmings. Lemons boots from it. Oh yeah. I read a few reviews on them and they seem to be a good review. So I don't know. They're B5 boots for their First World War stuff. Got very good reviews. So I thought the ammo boots can't be that bad. Problem I have with finding original boots in general is I have a 6.5, 7 foot for boots. And it's not true what they say, guys, so don't start. So I find it hard enough to get. I could be lucky I can find original boots sometimes, no problem. And then other times, Vietnam original boots, I can find buckets of them. Ammo boots, for some reason, I can't find them. The high boot for Northern Ireland, I can find millions of them. I have 2 or 3 pairs of them. DMS boots, have 2 or 3 pairs of them. But for some reason, bloody ammo boots, original ammo boots, I can't find them. But yeah. I want to get some East German books, but where the soles come. Oh, I want to get some East German boots, but the soles come off regularly here. See, like people go, oh, it's army spec or it's military spec or whatever. Just because it's military spec doesn't mean it's necessarily good. It just means that it's designed for the military. Sometimes it just means it's going to break easier. But the German boots, the para boots, the West German ones anyway, were very, very popular and they were very hard wearing. I don't know much about the East German stuff yet at the minute. I'm still learning. So the more I learn and the more information, you're always constantly learning, constantly learning. So I wouldn't worry about it. So guys, we're up on an hour, so we'll do the last usual bit, is you can bombard me with any type of information that we've talked about tonight. If you're not happy with the answers, and I will cover them, the answers again, and then we shall call it an evening. Lots of ammo boots have guard soles added. But when you look at the modern ammo boot compared to, say, the 50s or World War II ones, you can genuinely tell the difference. Now I could get a pair of modern ammo boots, no problem. Any funny stories from when I served? Funny stories from when I served. There's lots of funny stories from when I served, but can I get away and telling them? I don't know. I'll think of some tame ones first. But getting back to the ammo boots, yeah, I have no problem getting modern pair of ammo boots. First pattern desert boots were shocking. Soles would crack and crumble. For some reason, boots have a tendency to do that. It takes them 2 or 3 goes to get boots ready. Any funny stories from when I was in? There was a time, actually, a funny one from when I was on the border. When I went up to the border, we literally got sent to spare bodies because we went up in 98, 99, and Good Friday Agreement had just been signed. There was take down the barriers, take down this or whatever. So we were literally sent up as dogs' bodies. We did 1 or 2. Well, we did checkpoints, we did patrols, we did things like that. But the vast majority of our time was taking down security positions and stuff like that. But we were on a certain checkpoint, country road, and this old boy regularly enough would cycle up to the British side of the checkpoint. You had a line in the middle of the road, and literally that was the British side, this is our side, and he would cycle up to the British side of the road on the north, we'll say, hop off his bike, have a chat with the lads, show his papers, whatever he had to do, walk through the checkpoint, walk past us, jump up on his bike again and cycle off down the road. Regular guy. It met him out of the 7 days of the week, you'd probably see him 5 days of the week. Nobody paid any attention to him. So that was grand. At the RUC sergeant and the Garda sergeant that was with us on the checkpoints, they obviously knew each other from working on the border the whole time. And they'd meet in the middle of the road and they'd smoke a cigarette and they'd be having a cup of tea. When it was a rural enough checkpoint, it was quite enough. They'd meet in the middle of the road and they'd be having a cigarette or whatever and they'd be chatting away. And then you'd hear somebody shower from a Sanger going care, and everyone would stand around and be doing our jobs again. But this happened anyway. This old boy would get up this one day anyway. The old boy, we spotted him coming up along anyway, and he jumps off his bike at the British side. Seen being questioned by the lads. Next thing you see him getting put in handcuffs. We're going, what the hell is going on? Why are they nicking him like? So the rest of the day went on anyway, and we found the Garda sergeant that was with us, and we said, go chat to your mate and find out why they arrested that old boy. Because we see him regularly enough. Why they arrested the old boy today, like, so he comes down anyway, and he said, he was laughing, and he was like going, so what the old boy was doing was, he was going up the north, he was robbing bicycles, and he was bringing them down the south, and he was selling them. It was actually a different bicycle every day. And none of us noticed that it was a different bicycle every day that he was bringing down south. He was robbing them up the north, bringing them down and selling them down the south. Genius in the way he was just so ballsy and so cocky that none of us paid any attention to it was a different bicycle he had every day. So that's a funny story that happened. You can get DDR soles glued back on. Get a cobbler to do it. They have the more glue. Okay. My mate's soles came off mid-game on Red Mace 32. He had to go through Templeton. DDR have shocking. I have had them melt on me on a beer tent. DDR are the bicycle thief. Yeah, exactly. He was selling bikes up the north and bringing them down south and selling them, and none of us noticed. We had some strange things happen. There was another gentleman on the border, and his one was smuggling diesel. Everything up there. It was all smuggling, and even if you weren't involved in the trouble side of it, you were up to some other caper. You were smuggling whiskey or smuggling beer or God only knows what you were doing. But his house was in the Republic, but the driveway into his house was in the north. So we couldn't raid his house. The RUC couldn't raid his house because his house was actually in the Republic. So if we wanted to raid his house, we had to walk across these fields to get to his house. Sure, dogs everywhere. He'd hear us coming a mile away. And literally, we'll say his house was here. We'll say the border was literally there, and he had two big, massive diesel pumps, and they were literally 4 feet from each other. But one was in the north, one was in the south, and he had a big industrial pump between the two of them. So we'd raid him, and he'd literally click a switch inside his house, and he'd pump all the diesel from the one in the south into the one in the north. Couldn't touch it. And then if we were doing a joint operation with the guys over the other side, he'd pump it back the other way. So they couldn't get him, we couldn't get him. It was mental. And then like the diesel had been mixed so much, like you couldn't prove. Him like, did you get that here? Or did you get it in the north or wherever? Because he would buy it in the north. They would pump it into his diesel tank in the north, and he'd literally flick that switch and he'd bring it all into the south. And if it was cheaper in the south, he'd do the opposite. And lads were pulling up to his house and just filling diesel. That was one. That was another poacher, or not a poacher, a smuggler. What else did I hear or did I come across? Whiskey. Whiskey was a big one. Whiskey was cheaper in the north than it was down. Sorry, whiskey was cheaper here than it was in the north. And lads would find ingenious ways of smuggling whiskey. But one guy had apple juice. He was a merchant. No, I don't know what you call him, but he'd have a shop, like a mobile shop for all these country areas, and they'd have bits and bobs in the back of it: bread, cereals, teas, coffees. It's like an 80s type. I don't. You only see them here in Ireland, or I don't. I've never seen them anywhere else. And they literally go around to these rural communities, open the back of the sides of the thing, and you can sell whatever the hell you want. Local shop, traveling shop is what it is. But he had apple juice bottles. That wasn't apple juice; it was whiskey. So like he'd be pulling to this thing, and he'd like, "Do you want some apple juice, buddy?" And you see all these old boys in their 70s and 80s, and they're coming away from the friggin' the mobile shop with their bottles, of apple juice, and you're going, that's not fucking apple juice, it's whiskey. But sure, each to their own. There is a CCU pig scheme in which you would get 7 punts for pigs going north. They would be sent up north 3 times for an extra 20. Oh, yeah. Time with the foot and mouth. I have funny stories about foot and mouth as well, actually. It's like a Dad's Army episode. Yeah, it was like a Dad's Army episode. Good 12-minute vid on YouTube posted a year ago called Irish Defence Forces 1975. A period documentary that's also on an old plat, Silent Irish Army in the Field. Oh, I must look that up, actually. I did enjoy a drop of Irish whiskey. Time of the foot and mouth. I was up checkpoint. Time of the foot and mouth. Basically, we closed off. There was two farms, I think, in the north, on our side of the border that had been detected with mad cow, or not mad cow, foot and mouth disease. So they literally cordoned off this huge area, with soldiers, and anything inside that area was culled. I mean, cattle, sheep, goats, anything with a hoof was killed. But they were getting paid compensation for it, and there was checkpoints around the place as well to make sure they weren't moving meat and dairy products around the place. So myself and another young chap were standing on a checkpoint one night, and we weren't armed. We literally got billy clubs like that when we were on this checkpoint. And this member of the community, shall we say, travelled up, and he had a big, like the man in the white van, this big white transit van, at 3 o'clock in the morning. And we were going, yeah, what the hell is going on here? So we were at the checkpoint with a police officer, Gary Shikona, and Scared's questioning the driver, asking him is there any dairy products or anything around the place. No, nothing or whatever. And we opened the side of the van, and it was boxes. There was that much of a gap about at the top of the van, cardboard boxes the whole way. So the chap that was with me was just about to close the side of the van, and all I could hear was "Mah." And he looks at me, and I look at him, and I goes, "We're in the restricted area, aren't we?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "So anything that's around here should be dead at this stage." And he's like, "Yeah." So we're going, oh, okay. So we took out 2 or 3 of these boxes. He was smaller than me, so I lifted him up into it. Next thing I see, 2 boots disappear at the far side of the van. And he's roaring, screaming, going, "Get me out, get me out, get me out, get me out." So I'm putting out boxes, thinking, I don't know what he was after landing on, trying to pull out these boxes. And as I pull out this box, he comes out with a sheep in a headlock and rolls out past me. And what your man was actually after doing was he had sheep stacked on the other side of the van. And he was bringing them around to different farmers. So let's say my farm was being counted today for the livestock people, so I could get money for when the cull would take place. So I'd have 60 sheep, 70 sheep, or whatever. After the count was done in my farm, your man would arrive with his van, take 20, 30 sheep, put them inside the van, and go to the next farmer that was being counted so he could get more headage. So that's what they were doing. So that's how we've literally, the chap that was with me runs out, falls out with this van, with this sheep, side of the road, and we're going, where the hell, what do we do here? That was another funny story. They would have no problem telling you they did it, as you had to be caught in the act to be punished. Probably. God only knows what they were doing up there. Is US Afghanistan evacuation justifiable? History stuff. I don't understand that question, but if you want my general opinion, yes, the US should take out, and not just the US, the British, the Irish, the Germans, the Canadians, anyone that was there, you should take out the people that helped you there, the people that worked for you, the people that looked after you, because the situation is that's there now at the moment. Those people's lives are in jeopardy, so I do believe they should be justified. It is justified in taking them out. As for the whole bloody mess that's over there, I'm not going to go into it. I believe it could have been handled 100 times better, but that's not my place to go. So, boys, with 15 more minutes, we normally log off about past. So, if any of you have any other questions, queries, problems, don't be afraid to ask. My throat is quite dry tonight. So, any other funny things happened? There's lots of funny things, but I don't know if I can mention them on the internet. Of stuff that happened. I was inside in a barracks another time with another guy, and I was going on a job, so I was fine. I was being left alone, and I walked into a barracks, or he walked past me, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm going on guard." He was like, "I'm short one for this other duty. Do you want to do it?" No, on guard, you'd have to be in the barracks 24 hours. On the other duty, you didn't have to. You did your time and then you go home. And I was like, going, yeah, I'll do it. But as he was walking past the window, one of the other guys seen him coming and stepped into a locker and closed the two doors because he knew he was looking for something. So the other chap that was there, his name was John Doe. So the sergeant major goes to me, "Did you see John Doe?" And I said, "No, I haven't seen him at all, Major." "Well, if you see him, tell him he's okay for his half day." And the next thing, he just opens the two doors of the locker, goes, "Thanks very much, Sergeant Major." And the Sergeant Major goes, "I knew it. Get out here to me." He had actually seen him hide himself inside the locker, so he was like, going, "Yeah, you're not getting away with that one." They evacuated the militants before their own citizens. History stuff, that was once. They've only found one person so far. To the best of my knowledge, it's only been reported they have found one person that was on a no-fly list, or that was recognised on a no-fly list as being a possible terrorist. So I'm not going to go into the politics side of it. I do believe if you were there and the locals helped you or anything like that, and their lives are at risk over it, no, you do need to look after them. But yes, you need to look after your own as well too. So, foot and mouth, what I said, you're not even a lamb beast in the fields. Only time I have sniffled watching Reeling in the Years. If any of you don't know what, I don't know, do the lads in the UK know what Reeling in the Years is? It's an Irish TV show, I know. Interplexers, yeah. Oh, my neck is actually. I'm busted up lately, lads. I need a good holiday. I am suffering. My back is at me. My neck is at me. I've dry throat. I'm sweating. Jesus, would I be going through the menopause? I don't know. I know Father Ted. Father Ted's house is not actually far from here, from where I live. It's probably about 35 minutes, 40 minutes. If any of you ever come over, if any of you come over for something, I'll bring you to go see Father Ted's house. Probably, I don't know whether Father Ted or the actual tourism board did more for Irish tourism. I'd say Father Ted probably did more for Irish tourism than the tourist board has ever done. You can have tea and cakes in it. Yeah, you can book and you have like a little tea room and a cake room there. It's a private dwelling. The one half it's actually a private house. But your man knows, so you. I was actually there not so long ago with some family relations that were visiting, and the guy that lives in the house, he's actually so used to people now, randomers calling up outside his front door or outside his front gate because he don't go into the actual property, because in Ireland trespassing is a very, very serious matter. But outside the gate, and it'll be taking pictures and everything. And if he spots people or whatever just messing, he'll open the window. "Would you ever feck off, nuns?" or something like that. Like he's very entertaining, if you will, and he's a genuine guy as well. Like he's a nice guy. Sent a few links through that may help. Perfect. Thanks very much, Jake. But yeah, like you see tourists and I'll be pulling up, and he'd be roaring out the window, hanging out. I mean, hanging out the window. There was another guy. He used. I don't know if it was the same guy or if it was a different guy, but he had a priest's jacket on him, and a priest's outfit or whatever. And he'd literally open the door and he'd be like, "Fuck off!" And like, just Father Jack Tea, like, and we roaring, and he buses tourists taking pictures of the house. Lob a brick at him. No, you're not allowed to lob a brick at trespassers. I don't know actually about that one, but you possibly aren't. So, guys, it is 1:23, so we're going to wrap it up at 9:30 as always. and there will be a few videos coming over the weekend. But yeah, Feathers. There was a few movies filmed in my area. There's a new. I don't know if any of you know of Love Hate. Love Hate was like a crime drama type thing that was famous here in Ireland. But there's a new variant of that being made. That's been filmed nearby. Then what other movies were made nearby? Some scenes from Michael Collins were shot here in the area. Some scenes from The Wind That Shakes the Barley were shot locally. Asterix and Obelix was filmed here. Some Game of Thrones, some Viking scenes were shot in the area around here as well. Great live as always. Thanks, lads. I hope you enjoyed these jokes. Small and this is far away. This is small and this is and they are far away. The best, the funniest sketch I thought of that of the whole lot was when they were trapped in the lingerie, the biggest lingerie shop in Ireland at the time. That's actually, that shopping centre is actually in my hometown. So yeah, so there was an awful lot of movies and stuff shot around here. But yeah, so I thought that was the best. That was the best series. The best episode for me was when they were trapped in the lingerie thing, because it was like they had it turned into like a weird Vietnam type thing as well, situation. The Hitler gag with the mark on the window and the milkman. Yeah, like when you think of some, like when you think of some of the series now, like what they used to get away, what they got away with then, they would not get away with it now. The likes of Are You Being Served? Like that was it 60s or 70s? Some of the sketches in that and some of the characters in that, well, for the time frame and area, were strange and scary. Faulty Towers is another one. Some of the episodes of Faulty Towers can't be shown again because they're against political guideline. But then again, look at the BBC for the amount of allegations and stuff they've had to put against them. They're bloody mental. I think the 90s were the best time for Irish movies. Also, all the Father Leary Duff deaths. Oh yeah, Larry Duff deaths. Yeah, that Larry Duff, it was the priest who could be anywhere, and Feather had to try and ring him, and he'd get launched off a cliff or God only knows what had happened. Pat Mustard. Or the couple that had the shop and they'd all be roaring and shouting at each other, and next thing the priest would walk in, oh, how are you, Father? And they'd be having their hands around each other and everything. Catch you all later. I will be mostly wearing military garment on an opposite pattern for the bank holiday. Have a good time anyway, and we'll talk to you later, Dave. Kid, did you ask for someone with a booming voice? No, he wanted someone with a dull voice, yeah. Priests, nuns as well was another one. Like Manuel getting slapped. Yeah, and don't mention the war and the Germans. Benny Hill. Benny Hill was another one that you think back of it now when you're looking at it and you go, all Benny Hill was famous for doing was chasing women around fields and trying to pinch their bottoms and things. He did kick me, but up the ears. Father Ted set fire to the only surviving example of a 1981 Woodmill Nelson British landlord Austin Prince based funeral hearse. They didn't know it back then. Oh my God. That would have been absolutely. Oh, kick myself now if I was on set and they did that. All stand for the national anthem. Dave Allen, yeah, absolutely hilarious. Yeah, the Monty Pythons as well. Like you think of the Monty Pythons now, and you're going, yeah. I don't know if political correctness would have let them away with it, but sure, what can we do? Bottom was another one, or what was the one with the three students or was it 3 or 4 students in the young ones? The young ones. Jesus, wouldn't get away with that now. 3 stages of Elvis, yeah. Right, guys, it's past. letters. Yeah, Jesus. Even like Only Fools and Horses. Some of the stuff that they're doing now is a bit, or what doing back then. Like when you look at it now, when you look at it from a PC cap, and you're going, oh my god. Best scene of that though was the time they lifted the bear and Rodney just fell, or not Rodney, was it Rodney? Just literally fell through the bear. I thought it was so funny. It ain't half hot, mum. Yeah, that's another one now that wouldn't get away with it. And there was one as well. It was on Forces TV there not so long ago. But the lads that got drafted into the RAF at the time of national service. Get some in. That was what it was called. TTFN, John. TTFN. Young Ones was great having Motorhead appear on the living room. Yeah. Love Thy Neighbour. Yeah, Jesus. Some of the carry-ons now, even when you look at them, like what was your one's name that was in Emmerdale? Barbara Windsor. She was famous for just getting her baps out. That was what she was there for in the carry-ons for. Ta-ta for now. Oh, ta-ta for now. No problem. So, guys, it is past. We're bang on time. So I will see you all next week, next Friday, again for the live stream, 8 o'clock. I'm going to possibly put up reminders because guys have been emailing me going, when is the live stream? So keep an eye out for the notifications. It's always going to be for Friday at 8 o'clock. Unless for work commitments and stuff like that, then we'll move it to the Sunday. But in general, it's Friday at 8 o'clock. But I will be putting up premieres or stuff like that so people can set a reminder to know when it's coming on. I hope to have a few videos up over the weekend. And as always, stay safe. Have a good time if you're at the military shows and stuff like that. Unfortunately, here in Ireland, we don't have any at the minute. But have a good time at the shows, lads. Stay safe. Look after yourselves. And I'll see you all next week, Friday at 8 o'clock. Have a good time.